Okay, this is János Reviewed Audio, continuing my previous video, which I accidentally hit the stop record button and it stopped recording. So let's continue from here. So basically, after you mark the end of your board for the first cut, after you cut it, that's the time when you measure your end and you scribe down the exact position of your second cut. And the reason for that is that when you cut, the blade has a certain thickness, and it's a beginner's mistake that you mark up your lines, you don't calculate with the thickness of the blade, and your distances will be off. Of course, if you are more experienced, you are calculating the thickness of the blade, then you can mark everything with the blade thickness included. But if you are beginner, this is a really safe way to do it, that mark one end where you are going to cut, and then the cut is going to be somewhere at the center of the line. So just put a blue tape around the spot where you will cut and cover like a couple of centimeters or an inch on both sides, and you will cut in there, so it will also keep your wood from chipping and damaging. And second consideration is that when you are cutting boards, just make sure that the panels for the are roughly symmetrical. So here now we are using live wood, this is pine wood actually, so it's not plywood, and it's not MDF or HDF or something manufactured, but this is something that has its own structure, inner structure. And as such, what you want, what you really prefer is places like this here, where you have these dense edge lines and you do not have knots. So that's what you really want. And when it's something really dense, like this here, that's getting close to luthier grade wood, but that's still not there. And when it's something like this, that the lines are just so apart from each other, this is something that's not so desirable. And you kind of want to avoid wood like that for construction. But as the practicalities will work out, you will have trouble finding wood in the stores that looks just like that part of this plank, and you just have to work with what you have. And the way I have chosen these boards is not just by the looks alone. Number one thing is go for these boards that look like that, and but other than that, what I actually did and what I always do is I take out all of the planks that are in the store and rap on all of them, knock all of them, and listen to the sound. And if the sound reminds me of a music instrument rather than a piece of dead wood, if there's life in it, if the sound is fast and it's not long ringing, but you tap it and you hear a dong, and it goes away fast. It's like an explosive sound, high-speed sound. That's what you want. And sometimes the board might look like that. So even though this doesn't look like a good wood for music instrument purposes, because it doesn't have dense edge rings, and there's also nuts in there, but still this wood also passed this knuckle wrap test with excellent flying colors. It was kind of unexpected, but it happened. And then just go with those that will work for you. And not just go with that. If you have these areas, the knots, don't be afraid, don't be scared of them. What you need to do is match them. Match the two cabinets. So if you have these 2 nuts there, then keep that panel so those 2 nuts are like at the upper side, same distance from the top, and 2 nuts. And where I have this here, you see same thing, 2 nuts, and I measured it same distance from the top of the board. So let's just zoom out here. Well, I stood up, this is a prime lens. So you see that piece and this piece, these are matched. So you want to use matched pieces because they have certain resonance patterns, and if you have the same thing at the same spot for both speakers, then those speakers will sing together. And then this is for the other panel, and now there I have a knot there, and I have a knot at the same position. I measured them, you see, in the same way, that those knots would fall to the same spot. And here I could not do a perfect job. As you see there's another knot which is not there, but that's going to be at the edge of the board. That's where I'm going to have the port coming out, and there it will be fixed. So there this panel won't be allowed to resonate because there will be internal structures minimizing resonances. So that's why I can allow a little deviation there. But otherwise, try to always mix and match. So for example there, that will be the top panel, and you see there's a knot, there was a branch growing out from the tree. And for the other cabinet, bingo, same thing. I made them in such a way that that branch coming out is at the exact same position. And you see there's 2 baby knots there, and same position, there's a knot there. So basically matching them as closely as possible. And here you have to be creative. As you see, I marked up those boards with a lot of tape, lot of markings, and you just have to use your eyes and use your discretion on selecting matching parts from the boards. And here actually you don't need this much boards for this project. This is actually I think these are 8 foot long, 8 foot long, and 10 inch wide, 8 by 10s, and 3 of them. But I'm getting a little bit more out of them than just the minimum, and that allows that extra play time, so that I have extra space to work with it. And I'm getting 2 sets of tops. So basically that and that will be 1 set, and that over there plus that will be a second set for the top of the cabinet, because I'm going to make it modular, so I can remove the top and try out different things. So I will do some experimentation, not just build a speaker and be done with it, but I will have 2 different tops, so I can change between them. You will see why I'm not ruining the surprise. And going for the front and rear buffers. So this will be the front and rear of the speaker, and you see here I have marked 6 of them, and we need only 4. And the same thing here is that I will have extra 2 so that I can change the faceplate. I will be doing something different. And now I'm cutting all 6 so that I cut them at the same time, so that they are as close to each other as possible, and not wait for the extra 2 cuts at the time when I'm going to be changing the front panels. So let's do it now together. as I do with the extra tops. So that's it for the cutting bit. Now what awaits for me is dinner, and after dinner I'm going to start cutting, or maybe I think probably I will start cutting tomorrow, because it's pretty late and I think my neighbors want to sleep instead of spending the night in the lumber yard. So please like, subscribe if you like my videos, and tag along if you want to build your cabinet. I hope this is nice inspirational material and is helpful to you. Bye bye.